Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we had the usual Forza monthly livestream showcasing the new cars for the next update in Forza Horizon 4, but what I was actually most interested in was the updates to the next Forza Motorsport game. And we got a lot of new info to go through, courtesy of game director Chris Esaki. The last time Chris was on the show was to announce they were gonna start sending out invitations to members of the community for the first playtest of the new game. This playtest took place at the beginning of this month in May 8th, and according to Chris, it went better than they expected. There'll be more playtests focusing on different parts of the game, but this first one was centered around multiplayer and the core mechanics related to it. And apparently there are people complaining that Chris has been focusing too much on tire model changes, but I think this is actually great. As I've been saying all along, physics are the most important aspect of a racing game. It's more important than graphics, sound, and even content to some extent. If the game doesn't drive well, you won't feel like playing it to enjoy all of the other stuff they have going on top of it. So I do believe it's great that Chris has been hammering down on this aspect of the new game. According to him, the changes they made to the new Forza Motorsport game are more significant than all of the other changes they made from Forza Motorsport 4 all the way to Forza Motorsport 7 combined. It's supposed to be a true generational leap unlike anything we have seen in the series before. Now, of course, this can go either way. Every Forza Motorsport game had tweaks to the physics to some extent, but what happened over the years is that the game gradually lost everything that made it great. But I like to think they're on track this time, and they need to be. Gran Turismo isn't playing around anymore, so they know they need to put their best effort into this new game. The biggest change about the physics Chris Esaki went over during the show is to the tire collision detection model. For those of you who don't know what this means, it's basically the part of the game responsible for communicating to the player the different things that happen to your car. It's how you feel when your car either loses or gains traction, when you drive off the road, and all of the different surface types you drive over on any given track. Since the first Forza Motorsport game all the way to Forza Motorsport 7, their tire collision detection model only had one point of contact with the track surface and it refreshed at 60 Hz, which means for every frame, this information would be updated and translated to how the car feels 60 times. Their new tire collision detection model now has 8 points of contact and it refreshes at a whopping 360 Hz, which means that for every frame, all of this information is updated 360 times. This is a huge jump over what was previously available, and this can be used in a number of different ways to make your car truly feel connected to the road. And what's even more impressive to me is that Forza Motorsport games in general have always been good at communicating this type of info through the controller. So the fact that they now have an even more detailed collision detection model is perhaps the part that gets me more excited out of everything Chris talked about during the show. Chris also went into more detail about how this all translates to the driving experience. Basically, all of these improvements are subtle, as they should, and they add to the overall package, but the biggest change comes in the way the car responds to curbs. If you played Forza Motorsport 6, you probably remember how awful some of the curbs were. If you didn't know exactly what curbs to take and what curbs to avoid, there'd be a chance you'd eventually go over one that would be a guaranteed spin. Forza Motorsport 7 improved things quite a bit in this regard, but it wasn't quite there yet. With the next Forza Motorsport game, they focused on dialing in the curbs and now they feel smooth and closer to the real experience. And thanks to the new and improved tire collision detection model, you'll be able to feel all of the undulations of the curbs. Another big change to the next Forza Motorsport is that the game will finally support multiple tire compounds, which means you'll be able to pick from softs, mediums, or hards, and they're all interchangeable mid-race. These tire compounds all have different levels of grip and tire wear, so you feel the difference depending on what you're running. Forza Motorsport 7 does have different tires, but not tire compounds, so that's a welcome addition. And on top of that, the game will also finally support the ability to refuel your car to arbitrary amounts. Again, Forza Motorsport 7 does offer fuel consumption and the ability to refuel your car, but it's all or nothing. Once you're on the pit lane, it's gonna refuel to the maximum capacity, so you're unable to choose how much fuel you want to carry, which limits the number of strategies you can run with. And let's be real, fuel and tire wear are so rarely featured in online races in Forza Motorsport 7, with the exception of the one hopper, that it makes no difference in the end. So yeah, the new Forza Motorsport game is getting a lot closer to what we have in Gran Turismo Sport. I just hope they keep the traditional hoppers intact for those who are into casual racing and add a couple of extra lobbies or even a separate mode that will factor in the strategy aspect. Environmental factors will also play a role into how races play out from lap to lap. Chris mentioned that things like track temperature, tire pressure, tire wear, and even time of day and weather, all of these will dynamically change how your car reacts. Now, we have seen this promise being made before with Forza Motorsport 7, but what we actually got was something far from being dynamic, which contributes to the whole argument that Forza Motorsport cars now all feel the same. Hopefully they make good on their promise this time around so that everything that they've talked about up to this point contributes to making the game truly feel dynamic. Also, Chris confirms that the official name of the game is just Forza Motorsport. The game won't carry a number, so it won't be called Forza Motorsport 8. I honestly think this will make things very confusing for people streaming and doing videos on the game. In my opinion, Forza Motorsport 8 would be a much better naming because it keeps things in perspective, but looks like we're gonna have to get used to saying Forza Motorsport and the year it came out, just like we do with Need for Speed 2015. There's another playtest coming this summer, and after that Chris will be ready to share more details about something other than tire models. I'll leave the link to the full live stream in the description down below in case you want to watch it, but that's all I have for now. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.